The attendance today, 13,966. That's, bless you. That's the tourney's 9th best semifinal crowd. And this is the 16th time the number 1 and 2 seeds will meet for the MVC Tournament Championship, including the 2nd straight year. 16 times 1 and 2 will meet for the title, 2nd straight year that's happened. This is the 22nd time the number 2 seed has advanced to the championship game, including the 3rd straight year. On a driving layup with 14 minutes to play, Jake Odom had his 100th point in the MVC tourney play, and he is the active scoring leader in this tournament with more than 100 points. The Sycamores are here, and Jake Odom, Justin Gant, and Christian Smith represent the student athletes. We're going to ask Greg Lansing to start off with a statement on the game, and then we'll go to questions for the 3 student athletes. Greg,
my question
please.
is, how does Christian Smith with 1 basket get asked to come to a press conference? That's got to be an all-time record. It was a big one. It was a big one. I'm just awfully happy for these guys and the guys in the locker room. We didn't play well, and I didn't set them up offensively very good. I was a little bit out of it today. I just wanted to win so bad. I was probably worrying too more about the officiating than coaching my guys. But we have some fierce competitors on this team. Obviously, Jake, willing his team down the stretch here. But I give Southern nothing but tremendous credit. I told Coach they started out 6-15. We got them well when we went to their place, and they kicked our tail pretty good. But they just compete like crazy, and they have some dynamic guards there, and they're very difficult to guard. And we stretched it out a little bit, and they weren't going to let us get away from them. And very fortunate to come away with a win, but these guys competed so hard and did just enough, and now we have a chance. We have a one-game season right now.
Questions for the 3 student athletes. We're going to start on the podium right back there beyond the lights.
Jason Penske from NBC2 in Terre Haute. Jake, I know you said yesterday the first one went in and you had a good day. The second half, when you scored 7 in a row right away, just talk about what transpired during that time period.
I just wanted to be aggressive. It was a close game coming out of halftime, and I just wanted to look for it and get going to the rim. My teammates were doing a good job moving on offense, which was allowing gaps for me to get in there. And like I said yesterday, shots went down. I got it flowing, and it was a great feeling out there.
Christian, talk about what you saw on your bucket, and obviously you were trying to make a play, but just kind of describe it from your point of view.
It was lucky, but Coach Belcher told me right before we got out the huddle, when we got out the huddle, to make sure I crashed the boards. Coach Lansing always preaches on breaking the other team's back by getting offensive rebounds, and I got one of them, so I guess that was the one that counted. And I tipped it, and I really wasn't sure it went in until it went through that net, and I'm glad it did.
Stay here.
Jake, can you talk about, in that situation, what you anticipate Southern is going to do defensively and how you counter that, and kind of knowing that, how you let that play out?
Well, they're a really good man-to-man defensive team, so we knew they were going to be tough out there. We ran kind of like a pick slash slip thing with Gant, and he was open, so I kind of pitched back. And give credit to Christian getting there in the paint and tipping it in. That's a game-winning play. Like Coach said, he didn't have a bucket all game, but he went in there and fought and got down there dirty, and got the game-winning bucket for us.
In the back, straight back.
Justin, 2nd game in a row, big numbers from you. You've been very aggressive in the MVC tournament. What's been the difference for you?
It's tournament time, so you lose and you go home. So I think that's just really been heavy on my mind. We got a great group of guys and a great leadership coming from our seniors, and I just wanted to go out and play my hardest for them and just give it my all, and it's been working out.
For any 3 of you guys, how difficult was it to adjust to the clock, the shot clock being up, on the facade of the arena, and all the distraction at the beginning of the game with the clocks being out?
Jake, you can start that, and then we'll go to Justin.
The slow start, I don't think it was too much of a distraction. I think we got going after that. But the shot clock not being on there plays a factor because when it's down to 3 or 4 seconds and you look up, you kind of got to look away from the rim. So that was taking some adjustment too, but I don't really think it hurt either team too much.
Justin, same problem?
I mean, it just took us a couple possessions to get used to it, but after that, I feel like we, got in the flow of the game, and a lot of the times we get quick shots, so it didn't really matter anyways.
All the way in the back.
Jake, I know you guys have been outspoken about coming here, hoping to win 3 games in 3 days. Your confidence level tomorrow that you can get a win against an amazing team?
I mean, you got to have confidence. This is what you play the game for. I don't know about the rest of these guys, but I'm sure they're thinking the same thing. I want a piece of Wichita State ever since they got us at our place. We felt like we competed with them there. They're a really good team, in my opinion, the best team in the nation. But we feel like we can compete with them, and we know we're right there, and we know we got to make some adjustments from the first 2 times that we played them. But we're looking forward to it, and our goal when we got here was to meet up with them in the championship and play out there and give it all we got, and that's what we're going to do tomorrow.
Jake, given what you just said, what do you do to try to get your team ready to have that same mindset that you do?
Just stay in their ear here throughout the night, make sure everybody's locked in, focused, make sure that everybody knows the plays that we might be running tomorrow, some of their plays that they might be running tomorrow. Lucas and I and Jake Kitch are the only ones left in this tournament, or I think to start the tournament, that have ever won a championship here. So we've been here and we've done that, so we kind of know what to do. So we do have to stay in their ear tonight, kind of make sure that they're locked in. Can't get 2 up on this win here. It's a nice one, but after we leave here, after we leave the gym, we got to get locked in and focus on Wichita State.
Anything else for the student athletes of Indiana State? All right, gentlemen, we'll dismiss you. Yes? We'll see you tomorrow for the championship game.
Shout you out next year.
Stay with Coach Lansing a little bit further. Todd, again, will lead us off.
Greg, you knew it was going to be difficult today. It always is when you play Southern. If you had to point to one difference, what do you think it was?
I just think the will to win by this group. They came here pretty single-mindedly. Wanted to get to a chance to win a championship. We talked enough about it that losing 3 games before you come in there, but we did just enough. It was 2 teams absolutely fighting their guts out. It was very ugly at times, and I know that's not because of the coach on the other end, but I take a lot of responsibility for that. But these guys are they're such a good group, and I think the will to win the game. We got in that last huddle, I think, with 3:46 left, and that's just what we talked about. We're the experienced team coming down the stretch. We've got to make more plays than them, and then even if we didn't score, we had to shut them out.
Right-hand side, Greg.
Coach, you guys were able to take Desmar Jackson almost completely out of the picture. What were you guys able to do defensively that limited his production?
Manny Arop should be sitting on one of these seats up here. He was unbelievable on defense, and he told me at a timeout, Coach, I don't care what I'm doing on offense. He goes, I'm just going to guard that guy. And he really did. He made it tough and didn't play very well offensively. I think he was 0 for 6 for 3 in the first half, and he was just getting those, and we want him to get to the paint a little bit and get to the free throw line. But he had help. Justin does a great job when we switch 4 ways. Other guys had a hand in it, but Manny Arop deserves a lot of credit for that.
Right here in the front.
Coach, I remember it stuck in my mind after the Northern Iowa game. You sat there, and we came off three losses in a row. And what impressed me, you had this fire in your eyes, and you weren't worried, and you were very calm, collected. And how's that translate now that you're into the championship game, the MVC, after those 3 losses? How did you do that?
I think a lot of people would say, well, you got nothing to lose, but I'm not here just to make it to this championship game. Came here to win it. We just like start of the year, we wanted to win the conference, so we didn't get that done. And I think, as I've said, we lost 2 tough games on the road to 2 good teams that were playing for the 3rd seed, and I knew we'd compete against Northern Iowa. I knew we would. We just didn't do enough to win it, and I knew that I knew we were kind of back with our competitive side. Practices were terrific after that, so I've felt good. Every game I've gone into with this group, it's easy to relax because you know they're going to compete.
Right back, Greg.
Coach, you talk about the will to win. That's certainly led by Jake Odom. He's gone on these personal runs in this tournament. Is it almost to the point you're shocked if he doesn't do that now?
Yeah, you get the ball in his hands and, basically clearing out and saying, Jake, go make all the plays, win every game for us. I've gotten a little bit spoiled on that, but certainly more often than not he does that. There's nobody more competitive, this guy. I mean, it's unbelievable, the things that he says and the things that he does and the will to win. And at any level, this guy, his competitiveness is as high as any guy that I've ever been around. And I'm so darn happy for him, and I want it so bad, not just for him, for all these guys, for them to get that championship tomorrow. And I've got no concerns with how hard this one's going to compete.
Greg, can you talk about the clock situation, especially at the beginning of the game where it delayed the start, and then how the team had to adjust to playing a different way?
Other than putting off the post-game meal and all this stuff, that really had no effect. We got off to a good start. We really did. It was after the start that we had a little trouble. That kind of stuff happens. I mean, you just go on. Both teams were fine. I don't think affected anything. You got Jack Watkins coming in apologizing about it, but this is the best run tournament in the country by the best staff in the Valley. And like I said, we got off to a good start, and the only thing I think it might have affected is, like Jake said, the end of that. And unlike Manny at the end of the first half, he's looking for it. He didn't see it. I know that, so he settles for that three, but both teams had to deal with it.
Right back up the center. Oh, I'm sorry. Todd's first. I'm sorry.
When you hear the kind of what I guess you could call bravado coming out of Jake up here at the dais, against a 33-0 team.
Don't make that headlines either, Todd. I don't want that to be
the Death Star of the Valley.
Calling the Wichita Eagle and telling him he wanted to play him.
Yeah, well, what do you? I mean, what's your reaction as a coach when you hear that out of your leader? What are you thinking when he says?
You know me. I wish he wouldn't. All that's going to come out of that is that first part of that. But he also said how he thinks they're the best team in the country, and we all do. I do. There's not enough adjectives to describe the things I think about Wichita and their team. He's competitive. He did. If the disappointing we lost with the disappointing loss that we had, our whole community's building up for that one game, and we lose it. You put all your guts into it and you want to win that and contend for a championship, you lose it. That's only natural. Anybody that plays this game goes, I want to play them again when we get to St. Louis. And we've done just enough to do that. Be careful what you ask for, though.
We're under 3 minutes, and we have a question straight back.
Greg, same thing I asked Jake. What's your confidence level? I know you believe in your team, and I know you believe you'll compete really well tomorrow. What's your confidence level that you can win the game?
My staff's the best staff in the country. They're the ones that prepare these guys. That's why we're so good defensively. We've got a good group of guys that are going to fight like crazy, and I hope it's good enough. We're going to give it everything we have, and if it's not good enough, they go into the tournament undefeated with a great chance to win the whole thing. If it's good enough, we're going to get in there and do something too.
Anything else for Coach Lansing? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good luck tomorrow. Tyler Smith-Peters and Anthony Bean are the Salukis with us, as well as Coach Barry Henson. We're going to ask Barry to make an opening statement about the game, and they'll go with questions for the two student athletes only for an 8-minute max period. Barry, please.
I'll make this brief. Hey, congratulations to Indiana State and to Wichita State. Couldn't have two finer teams representing our conference in a conference championship. The semifinals is exactly what I thought it would be. I knew this game would go down to the wire, no question in my mind, and it certainly didn't leave me any surprises there. I'll let these guys answer your questions.
Questions for the student athletes of SIU, right there on the aisle.
Anthony, Barry called a timeout about 11 minutes to go and was pretty ticked off about the putback with Gant, and you guys seemed to play them even the rest of the way. How much did that get your attention?
It definitely got our attention because earlier before that, I felt that we were just out there. We weren't really playing defense like we were earlier in the game, and he definitely got our attention after that. I thought we came back out and answered to what he was talking about.
Same area, right there.
For both the student athletes, can you just talk about their defense? It seemed like nothing came easy for you guys on the offensive end today.
Tyler, you first, please.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to give Indiana State credit for that. I mean, they prepared well for it, and it was tough.
Anthony, comment on their defense.
Yeah, their defense was great. They were definitely prepared, but I felt that we had just as much to do with it. We took quick shots, and it wasn't a reflection of yesterday when we were out and sharing the ball and things like that, and it showed later on in the game.
Anthony, if you just talk about your tournament overall and just, trying to get a spark tonight when it was so hard for one or the other team to get some momentum today.
You repeat that for me? I couldn't.
Can you talk about just your tournament overall and then today just trying to get some momentum in this game that was really kind of ragged today for both teams?
I think we did as a team. We did a good job as a team, but we expected more out of ourselves. And as far as the momentum part, it was hard, but like I was saying, I felt that we were all just taking quick shots. Me especially, I had some quick shots I took where it could have ran the offense, things like that. But it was definitely hard to get momentum going as the game went on.
Yeah, stay there.
Can you guys both just talk about, that you're disappointed you didn't make the finals tomorrow, and that's sure a long way from where you guys were in January, and just talk about, how that's kind of changed your expectations.
Tyler, first again.
Yeah, we turned a lot of heads starting in February or so, and I mean, our goal was to get to 9 games and play on the Friday night. And I mean, we did that, but for us, I mean, we had farther expectations than what we did, and I mean, it's tough.
Anthony, expectations?
Just like Todd said, our goal was to get to 9, but as a team, we started feeling that we started getting better each and every day, and everybody was just motivated and things like that. And when we got here and we got the first win, you could just tell everybody was ready to go. But unfortunately, Indiana State, they played great and got the win today.
Anything else for the student athletes of SIU? All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations on your season. We're going to stay here with Coach Henson just a while longer. And start right there on the left.
Coach, just talk about the timeout with 11 minutes to go. What did you say to them, and how did you get their attention then?
I'll have to paraphrase what I said. We just got our tails whooped on an offensive rebound. We had just come out of a timeout where we challenged our guys for effort and energy, and we didn't have it. And I just felt like we needed to do something different, something drastic. And I was really, really upset. And I portrayed it, and I told them about it, and I challenged them, and I felt like, for the most part, we had better energy and better effort from that point on, but we didn't play any smarter than what we had earlier.
Can you talk about the offensive struggles? How much of it was you? How much of it was their defense?
You know, Les, that's kind of a tough question because you end up sounding like an ass if you answer it any other way, but they're giving Indiana State credit, and I do think that they had a lot to do with it. I heard Greg yelling cushion, cushion, cushion the entire game, but we took bad shots today, and we reverted back to how we played in the non-conference, and really, really wasn't happy about that, but hopefully we can use this as a teaching point in how to get better, and I think we have to, and that's one of the things we talked about in the locker room. We never stopped teaching, and it's one of the things that we felt like we needed to continue to do when we got off the floor. But we told them at halftime, "You're fighting us. You are fighting us. Will you just give in and do what we're asking you to do?" And I kept asking my coaches, what do we do? Suggestions. They said, just fight them back, coach, fight them back. And that's when I called the timeout at the 11-minute mark. But the encouraging thing was 83% of our rebounds today were by our underclassmen, and 80% of our points came from our underclassmen. So I do like, we got a glimpse of somewhat of a little bit of our future, and I do like that.
Right back.
Coach, on that last play of the game, was it the plan to get Jackson the ball?
We have 3 options, and he's the final option. And got to give, now I will tell you this, Indiana State did a great job. They switched 5, they did a good job, and they even switched a switch, which they were pretty good at it. Greg had them ready to go, and they really did a good job on it. But I thought we were going to get a better look. We turned down a better look for a worse look. And but the play worked. I mean, it worked. We were going to get a decent shot and just kind of made a bad decision.
Barry, can you just talk about the evolution of Anthony Bean's game and how much he kind of carried you today when Dez just was not into it today?
I think I think everybody wants to talk about Anthony scoring, but I think the thing that I'm most proud of him is that when we lost our starting point guard, it took us a while, but we finally got him to talk and to lead and to be that guy out on the floor, to challenge guys on and off the floor, and I think he's done that. Certainly his offensive game's improved. He's right. Even Anthony today made some bad decisions, but Anthony, you know, Whitey Herzog used to say this all the time: you got to play small ball and you got to hit singles. And most of our guys today try to hit home runs all day long, and you just can't do that in the Valley, and you certainly can't do it against any of Greg's teams because they're so well coached. You've got to play small ball, and we did not do that at all.
Barry, can you talk about the clock delay at the beginning and how much of an influence, if it did at all, the clock did?
It's fine. It's fine. Jack came by and apologized, and it is amazing to me that you're playing in a building that hosts the National Hockey League and you can't have a shot clock that works. That's not the Missouri Valley Conference's fault. That's not. It's the building's fault. And but it didn't have an effect on the game. But the professionalism of that at this level, there's no excuse for that. None. So, sorry. I've had my ass eat out this year. You know what? Shot clock guys, you get your ass eat out today, because that's not right. And it's not the Valley's fault. Who runs this building? That's got to take care of that stuff. Hopefully it'll work tomorrow when we're on national television on CBS. I think I'd fly a freaking party in tonight. Good gosh, you guys just got me going.
You talked about small ball. Can you talk about you didn't do some of the little things? You missed a bunch of layups, a couple right at crunch time, and then also struggled at the free throw line.
Yeah, Les, that's been a problem for us this year. And really today, in all honesty, it was everything. You know, Anthony, I think, went 1 for 4. Yeah, he went 1 for 4, and you know, Desmar missed 2, and you know, Jalen has struggled from the free throw line all year long, and we had to make a decision there at the end of the game because we knew Greg would foul him, and we did miss the bunny. I think it would have tied the game. Is that right? Yeah, missed a wide open layup and would have tied the game. But that's where you learn. That's where those young guys learn, and you use them as teaching moments, and you try to do that.
On the right.
Coach, what can you say about Dez's performance today? He had a decent game yesterday, but wasn't really a factor today.
Well, you know, I think, you know, in Dez's defense, I think he tried to help us today. He forced a lot of shots, took a lot of bad shots. Give credit to Indiana State. They made, you know, when you go get a double-double, there's a good chance you're going to have a target on your back the next day. And that target jersey is pretty heavy. And the one thing that we kept talking about in the timeout was trust your teammates, and we didn't do that today.
We have about 4 minutes to go. We have 3 questions up. 1 in the back, then 2, 3. Go.
Barry, certainly your future's got to look pretty good with the 4 potential starters and how well your freshmen have played. You know, what makes you excited for next season?
Well, I tell you what makes me excited. I'm excited to be a Saluki. That's what makes me excited. I'm excited to be a part of this conference. I mean, we're getting ready to have a team come out of here regardless of whether they win tomorrow, they're going to be a #1 seed. Put that on national media, all right? That's how strong I feel about it. But we're going to have the #1 seed come out of our conference, and I get to coach in this league, and I get to coach at a school that has tradition-rich basketball, and we've got a bunch of young little stinkers coming back, and I like it. And I'm excited about that.
Back left.
Coach, could you talk about your team as far as the disappointment level that you didn't make the championship game after where you were in early January?
Well, Darren, it's, you know, college basketball is highs and lows, and needless to say, I'm one of those guys. I'm a high guy and I'm a low guy. And, you know, that's just part of it. Got to get used to it. And if you would have told us in January we were going to have a chance to play in the conference championship game, I'd have probably said you need to go get drug tested. And you know what? We played well down the stretch. We really did. Proud of our guys. Pretty good for a group of mama boys, wasn't it?
Final question over here.
Coach, to go back to the game real quick, you were able to keep Odom relatively silent the entire first half. What do you think the difference between halves was, where he came out and he had a...
You guys saw it. They blew the whistle every time. He had the ball in his hands. He shot 15 free throws.
And that'll do it.
This is a moment when you say, I've learned my lesson. Thanks,
you very
guys.
much.
Hey, I appreciate it. Have fun tomorrow.